Tag TV and Tag Radio be seen and heard by both technology users and technology producers throughout the state of Georgia and around the world. Low cost, big benefits, powerhouse online branded video and audio has arrived. Tag TV, Tag Radio, there's a lot more to know. This edition of Tech Talk is brought to you by GlobalSpeak.com, new media consultants, corporate video and audio communications, video and audio production and distribution, live and virtual event production. Tag TV and Tag Radio is a service of GlobalSpeak.com, creatively delivering powerful marketing, video, and audio solutions. We often hear tech generation millennials use the term, in the day. Well, in the day, huge computer rooms housed systems that were complex to maintain and required special environments to operate. Often they were surrounded by a labyrinth of racks, elevated floors, and cable, lots and lots of cable, and they had to be cool to avoid overheating. Today they're known as data centers, and they're at the core of our global connectivity, one of technology's, albeit the state of Georgia's most rapidly expanding economic development sector, providing the IT infrastructure needed now and with the capability to easily support tomorrow's business initiatives. Greetings, everyone. It's Thursday, March 10, 2011, and this is a special Premier Member Showcase edition of Tech Talk with Technology Association of Georgia President Tino Mantella. Up to the Premier Showcase, custard data center services, co-location and cloud services, carrier-neutral connectivity, and a full array of managed services as we explore the impact of high-quality, flexible, dedicated, fully managed networks. Tino speaks with Tag Premier Member QTS, Quality Technology Services General Manager Atlanta, Butch Goldi. QTS serves over 600 customers and owns, operates, and maintains a dozen facilities across the country, encompassing over 3.1 million square feet, making the data center giant the third largest data center provider in the United States. As general manager of the two biggest data centers in all of Georgia, Butch brings some 34 years of technology sales and operational experience to the impact QTS is providing in the increasing global interconnectivity of both Atlanta and the state of Georgia. Over a decade with Executone Information Systems and Operations and Sales Management, Butch has also been a leader on the network side of the business, as later in his career he became Director of Alternative Channels for WinStar Communications. In 1999, he became the Regional Vice President for Allegiance Telecom, and prior to joining QTS in 2009, served in positions at XO Communications and Internet. The role data centers are playing in today's digital global economy and the surge in growing demand for data center space as Tino takes a premier-focused Tech Talk Showcase visit with QTS and its General Manager Atlanta, Butch Goldi.
Butch, thanks for joining me on Tech Talk, and thanks for being great premier members of TAG.
Thank you.
Let's just jump right into first set of questions. So when we think about globalization of the economy, it's quite startling, actually. The way commerce is flowing globally is unlike anything we've ever seen, and it's escalating rapidly. And the increasing interconnectedness offered by the Internet is a big driver of that. So from a data center standpoint, what is the role of data centers in this whole space?
Well, QTS has been hosting and is the portal for a number of online activities for our customers. The importance of interconnectedness in the world is growing. Hence, even in a sluggish economy like we're seeing today, our business continues to grow rapidly. Obviously, we see this happening in the Middle East. There are a number of popular revolts against governments that are being made public due to the protesters having the ability to communicate via Twitter, Facebook, and other products similar. So you're seeing stuff on the news here in Atlanta via either CNN or what other means necessary. You're getting a look into what these people are dealing with in the revolt, and this is all due to the Internet. Most of the Internet's applications are coming out of data centers similar to this. So tremendous opportunity today for us to communicate and see communication around the world. And a lot of these things, is happening personally. It's also happening in business in no time flat. So I'm assuming most of the people on this they'll be listening to this radio show will be a tech-savvy type of audience, and they have smartphones, and everything that they're doing on those smartphones occur in data centers as well.
That's interesting, and I've had the pleasure of touring QTS facility a couple times now, and it's quite amazing. It's a lot larger than I ever imagined it would be before I went in there the first time. And so you've really got two of the biggest data centers in Georgia, and there's also other data centers here. So what's the attraction for Atlanta and the state in terms of worthy of the kind of investment that's happening at QTS and actually beyond QTS? If you look at the industry here, why is Georgia such a great place to settle in?
Well, it's a number of reasons, actually, Tino. The first and foremost, I think, is the competitive cost of power here in Georgia. We probably want to be more aggressive when it comes to kilowatt hours. So I think the data centers that you see in the metro area, QTS obviously being the leader in the marketplace, with the data center in Suwanee, which is 375,000 square feet, and the data center on 1033 Jefferson, which is just under 1 million square feet. Obviously, power consumption is a major part of this, and having the ability for its growth as well. So I think the cost of power makes Atlanta very attractive. I think also to the environmentals. We really don't have snow loads, don't have to worry about roof support. Don't really have any major natural catastrophes that could occur, so makes Atlanta a very popular area for that as well. And I think on top of that, we have Georgia Tech, University of Georgia. We've got the skill sets, so you could get the skilled employees at a reasonable price. Cost of living here is obviously very attractive as well. So all those things, I think, make up for a really nice opportunity for Atlanta to see some growth in the data center business here in the metro area.
We're doing a State of the Industry report, and we've identified data centers as certainly a leading industry. There's definitely a cluster building here, and TAG certainly likes clusters and feels like it positions us well for the future in terms of growth of the industry here, which means more jobs, better paying jobs, which is all good and certainly part of what TAG's about in our building a tech-based economy here. And there was just an article in the Business Chronicle, and I thought you had a terrific quote in there about data centers, and I think part of it was talking about the surge of demand and what it means for people that are making decisions on this area. I guess they have choices, but certainly with our data centers here, they can look at those centers in terms of an opportunity, but there's other choices as well. So how do you respond in terms of what does the surge in demand mean to technology decision makers?
I think most of the companies today are looking for the scale. So you need to know you'll be able to scale. You need to be able to understand it, and you need to look at the IT people and the infrastructure and where it was 5 years ago, and absolutely see that it's positively dwarfed what the present needs are today. So if you've looked at that 5 years ago in the past, what does the next 5 years look like? And I think there's some fear in reference to, hey, we've grown exponentially in relation to storage, in relation to computing power, in relation to the things that we provide cooling and power for into a data center. So I think a number of companies want to make sure when they go into a data center that they have the ability to scale, not only in power and space, but also cooling and computing power, whether it be in the SAN storage or SLCPU. In Atlanta, we've got the second largest data center in the world in Metro, which is the 1033 Jefferson Street location. We've got our own substation. Obviously, we've got plenty of power to last for a number of years to come.
Now, there seems to be a movement in respect to companies looking to think about certainly what they're doing with data centers, and I guess with the cloud and virtualization and the opportunities here, which we already discussed, that they have choices. And your centers, as I understand it, are all multi-tenant data centers. And but there's also news coming out, and I've been reading quite a bit about it of late in our papers and actually the national papers as well, that there's companies like Google, for example, that are building their own data centers here in Atlanta. So you have the multi-data center choice, and then you also have the sole data center built by the company. And so the question I have for you is, at what point does it make sense for customers to build their own data center versus leasing in space like yours?
I think it really gets up into the power consumption that you're anticipating, and I think one of the things that we're seeing is can you scale, or what's going to drive the scale to the degree that it makes sense for you to go ahead and spend the capital expense to actually build a data center. So we're seeing this being, there's a cost roughly around $9 million a megawatt is what the industry standard is today. When you get past the 30 megawatt stage, you drop that price down to about $3.5 million per megawatt. So I think really what happens is when you are some of those large companies like AMD, which is getting ready to move into the Atlanta area, once you get over the 30 megawatt space, then it may be it's something that you should take a look at. But anything under 30 megawatts, you definitely should look at a multi-tenant facility similar to QTS or some of my competitors here in the marketplace.
And does it have anything to do with, I think I know the answer to this, but for our listeners as well, for more or less security if you're in a multi-data center for the company versus a sole data center? I mean, I'm sure QTS would stand by the ability to secure your space, and you also have backup facilities, I know.
I think it's, obviously security is going to be an important part of every large company, small company's concern, whether it's going to be a multi-tenant or a private center. There are a number of large companies that are hosted with us today that, we take care of those security concerns. I think security is more probably a concern in the cloud when you get into a cloud offering. So I think clouds, there's more PCI compliance concerns, HIPAA compliance. It depends on the vertical market or the industry, what concerns they may have. And you've got audit and controls that are in place for those.
So you're talking about cloud. I think this is a good question to end our conversation on because we are running out of time. But it seems to be a lot of different definitions of cloud and cloud computing today in the technology world. So how does cloud fit into the data center? How would you define it? And you're talking with people every day about their IT infrastructure needs. So what role do you see cloud computing actually playing?
Well, you really two positions on that. Small to medium-sized businesses can look at cloud from a virtualization standpoint, from a shared resources. You may not want to go out and spend the capital expense for the hardware associated to run an application where you could focus on your core competencies and let a company like QTS manage your hardware infrastructure up to the OS level. And then you'd share that across machines with other small companies. When you get into the larger opportunities, the enterprise type of accounts, you're looking more of a private virtualization where you want to have your own infrastructure stood up by someone like ourselves, run up to the OS, but only your information is on those particular hardware devices or those VMs, and you're not sharing it with other folks. What that does is it gives, the enterprise type of accounts some concern because there are security risks associated with that. So you've got audit controls that you need to put in place that gives them the comfort level that you've met all the compliance needs for their particular industry. Again, PCI, HIPAA, SAS 70, which is getting ready now to turn to SSA 16, probably mid this year. Those are the type of things that become of major concern when they move to the cloud. So we see a lot of hybrid solutions going on right now as well. So hybrid is you've got a co-location with me on the data center floor today. You're taking anywhere from a small cabinet to multiple square foot of colo space, but you're migrating over to a cloud offering. And we're starting to see a number of companies who own the actual servers themselves but use our front-end network and also use our SAN storage or can completely migrate from a co-location to a cloud offering. And this basically is, it's an efficiency thing. It's increased efficiencies, control costs, better operations and support. You make one phone call, you get all your issues addressed. So I think it meets every company's 5 areas of concern. And that, want to control costs, increase revenue, better customer service and support, efficiencies, and things of that nature.
Well, Butch, I enjoyed talking with you today, and thanks for joining me on Tech Talk, and congratulations on the success of QTS here, and thanks for having well over 1 million square feet of space, and look forward to talking to you again on Tech Talk in the future.
Hey, Tino, thanks for having me on the show. Appreciate it.